How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today I was planning on doing some other things than I actually have to do today because last week didn't really go as planned. But what I'm going to start with today is I got a new welding stand, or a welding car I should say. My father-in-law just got this for me, so I'm going to be taking all this stuff over, building the new one and transferring everything over to that. But I will continue on working on the Prelude. I gotta work on the top of the strut towers and moving the struts and getting them in position because I wanted to put the front springs in. So last week what we started doing with the struts is actually trying to get them to move forward. We realized that they were a little bit too far back. So what we started doing is cutting the top of the strut towers, enabling us to move them forward, slide them a little bit, just get an idea of where they need to sit permanently. It doesn't look great now, but again, we're just using this so that we can figure out where it needs to sit, and then we're going to use that to get our template, and then we're going to make a permanent plate, weld that in, and have the struts all figured out. That way, when we put the springs in, it's not a matter of taking the springs in and out multiple times. Once they go in, they'll be in for quite some time, and then we can keep moving forward with the build. First thing though, I do want to get this opened up and built, and then I'm going to transfer everything over to the new cart. That way I can get rid of this big bulky one. So let's get started with that. Alright, well that's pretty cool. I mean, that's way more space efficient than that big thing there. And I guess that's why my father-in-law bought it for me. But yeah, rolls pretty good. Alright, now let's move on to the car. So you can kind of see here what we did. We cut a whole bunch of the metal out going forward on all three bolts and even the center here. We had to move everything over to the front just because that's how it was on the Mustang, and we had to make it work. Same thing with this Prelude. So that's what I'm working on with the other side. I've marked where I need to cut roughly, and I'm going to start cutting so that I can take that strut and do the same thing and slide everything forward and get it to where it needs to sit. Alright guys, so hopefully this helps you guys understand why I've just been hacking away at these. I don't really care how this looks right now. I just want to get an accurate measurement on where these struts are going to be. So watch, this is the reason why I just cut these. Now I can move this forward. It may not be enough, but at least this is getting us closer and closer to where I need to be, and that's why I'm doing it this way. So I'm going to move it forward, I'm going to tighten it like that, and then hopefully when we get the springs in and the car back on itself with the weight and everything, then we'll be able to see how much further we need to go. And then once we have these in place, like I said before, then we're going to get a big piece of metal, a steel plate, and I'm going to cut all the way around here, remove this, and I'm going to make a plate specifically designed with these three bolts and this centerpiece cut out so that there's none of these holes here, there's none of these cutouts. It's just designed exactly for these Mustang struts to fit into the Honda Prelude. Moved forward, bolted in temporarily, but I think they're closer to where they need to be now, so that's good enough for me. Over here I made a piece of metal just to reinforce it because there was like no metal left once I started chopping. But anyways, I wish that I had the spring tool. There's a little tool that, I mean, I can show you a quick little clip of what this tool is and how it's used. But it's on its way. I ordered it last week, so hopefully it'll be here soon. But we need that tool to install the springs, and I wish we had that right now because the springs would be in right now if I did. Then we would be able to know if the struts are pretty close to where they need to be. And to be honest, we don't even know how the wheels look and how the car is going to sit or anything with the new subframe bolted in. So anyways, that's a whole bunch of stuff that I've been thinking about and I want to get done. But I think the next step right now is to get the engine on the cherry picker and to drop it in and to see how it looks, how it fits, how it looks with the subframe in there, where the motor mounts might end up being, a whole bunch of stuff. But regardless, I want to find a way that we could put the engine in there and let it sit there, because we need weight in the front end to put the springs in. It helps the whole process. I mean, we don't need it, but it'll help us a whole bunch. But regardless, we got to figure out how it looks. So let's get the engine set up on the engine hoist and drop it in, and let's see what it looks like. Alright guys, well this is the moment of truth. I have yet to try putting this engine in the engine bay with the new subframe bolted in. I mean, I was never really able to measure whether it was going to all work because I didn't really know where the subframe was going to sit. But hey, I mean, everything's looking pretty good. I think that there's enough space here, so let's just drop it in. I'm excited to see how it looks, and hopefully we can figure out a way to get this engine to stay in there pretty stable. That way we can add some weight to the front end, and then that'll help us do the springs. Well, it looks like my only option really, I got two options here. I can either extend this arm out more and go to the minimum rating that it's at, which is half a ton, which I'd rather not do. My other option is just to remove this front bumper. So it looks like I'm gonna have to, so what I might be able to do is rest the engine in place here and then get rid of the cherry picker. I gotta remove the front bumper, and that looks like it'll give me at least another 3-4 inches to go a little bit further, because right now I'm not getting far enough back. But yeah, that's not the end of the world. Alright guys, well I guess I'm pulling the front bumper. I've never done it on this car, but it should be pretty simple. I mean, front bumpers come and go with these things. People put aftermarket ones all the time, so it's not that hard, but I'm going to show you guys how to do it. Alright guys, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to remove the inner fender liners here. Basically what they got holding them is plastic push pins, and they're like a two-piece. So what you got to do is, like, you get a flathead that you don't really care about or something similar, and you can slide it in, and then you can pull the inside part out, and then the entire thing will come out. I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. Alright, I'm at a weird angle here. I'm doing it basically off the screen of the camera, but if you look here, so I'm going to take the inside of it, and I'm going to, well, I mean, sometimes they get old and they just come out like that, or you're just too aggressive with it, like maybe I was there. But honestly, those come very, very common. There's another one right here. I'll try to do it the right way so I can show you. So there you go. The inner is coming out. So like the inside one comes out and the whole thing just comes out. Alright, now what I'm showing you guys is pretty basic. I mean, it could be used across most vehicles. Obviously, they're not going to be exactly the same, but it's the same premise. You take off the inner fender liners there, and then you'll be able to access all the bolts and screws that are holding everything together. And honestly, you can pretty much figure it out from there. I'm going to just take off this fender liner, and then I'll show you the rest. Now all you gotta do is find all the screws that are holding it to the rest of the car. So for example, I found an 8mm bolt here, and I'm gonna start going around the entire thing and taking those out. Now I've removed that 8mm bolt, and it looks like from the inside that this part of the bumper just snaps in. So I'm just gonna try pulling easy on it and see if it pops out. There you go. So now I'm gonna go do that same thing on both sides, and then I'm gonna work on the middle here. All right, so it looks like we have a couple 10mm bolts, one here, and there's also a push pin on the middle part here, right? I'm not sure if that's gonna access more bolts for us, but it's easy enough to take out, so I'm gonna take that out. Well, there you go. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 push pins right here. And honestly, I think that's all that's left in holding this thing. All right, now let's see if this thing's loose and there's nothing else holding it. I think we're good. Oh, we got some wires. That's about it. So most of these wires for the lights, they just hold the sockets in for the bulbs. And honestly, most of them just twist out. So, like for example, there you go, there's that one there. And I got another one right here, same thing. And there you go. That's how you take off a front bumper of a 97 Honda Prelude. This is a 5th gen Prelude, so it should be the same for all of them. So the reason why I took off the front bumper is because the cherry picker couldn't get far enough back. So now I'm gonna see how far I can get. All right, well that's way better. Before I wasn't even able to get to the center point of the engine. Now I'm a little bit past it, so I'm in a better spot than I was before. I'm gonna leave the rest for another day. I don't wanna get too far ahead of myself because I do wanna get these springs in, and this is gonna help now that the engine's holding some weight down. So hopefully that tool comes in. If not, I think I'm gonna just find a way to do it without the tool. Then we can keep moving forward the right way. That way I'm not putting the cart in front of the horse. So, anyways guys, every week is not going to be a week where I get a certain thing done. You know, I might just be making some small progress towards the end goal. It sounds like I'm a little bit self-conscious about my content, which I kind of am. I do want to keep putting out entertaining stuff, but the main thing is consistency. Like I said guys, every week I'm going to be uploading a video. Whether or not it's fun, entertaining, at least you get to see my beautiful face every week. So that's all that matters. Anyways guys, thanks again. If you made it to the end of the video, I do really appreciate it. If you can leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and a comment below. Let me know what you guys want to see, or if you guys have any input or advice on what I'm doing. I would really appreciate it. But make sure you guys hit that like button. That helps a lot because that gets the video out there to other people who are looking at similar videos, and it just gets more traction for my channel, so it helps a lot. But anyways, we'll see you guys next week, and thanks for watching.